And a very good afternoon to everyone listening live today. Welcome to this virtual Bursa Marketplace Fair. Hope everyone is well and staying safe in these COVID times. Now, before I start today, I would like to thank Bursa Malaysia for this invitation to speak in an inaugural virtual Marketplace Fair. So, are you struggling to choose between saving or investing? Would you like to enhance your financial literacy and learn how to build a solid financial foundation? Yes, so in this session, we will be actually talking about investing literacy, and I will also be speaking about a bonus topic, which is financial fraud and financial scams. So before I begin, a brief introduction about my company. Corpus Advisory was founded in May 2014. We are a financial planning firm licensed by the Securities Commission of Malaysia, and we provide comprehensive financial planning services to help individuals and corporations achieve their financial goals. So you can see our tagline there, beyond financial planning. So what do you mean by beyond financial planning? It's because we go beyond only providing core or common financial planning services such as cash flow, wealth management, risk management, taxes, and even estate planning services. But we deliver comprehensive financial and life solutions through our integrated financial planning services, which emphasizes on helping our clients to find their return on life. So in short, we want to help our clients find the best way, the best life possible, okay, with the money that they have. All right, just before I start, a brief introduction of myself. I'm a licensed financial planner, as you know, with Corpus Advisory, Sdn Bhd, and I'm also a certified financial training professional. I hold a capital market services representatives license from the Securities Commission of Malaysia. I have exposure spanning diverse sectors, including financial planning, training and development, academia and research, finance, human resources, general and also business development. I have a professional doctorate. I'm focusing on the area of financial capability and financial wellness of Malaysians. And as a firm believer of holistic financial planning, I place importance on helping my clients make the best lifestyle choices to help them build a financially healthy and wealthy mindset so that they can realize their life goals and achieve long-term financial success. Just a little bit about Sens-Ability. Sens-Ability is a financial and investment literacy program which is brought to you by Bursa Malaysia. And as with any investment talks, okay, the disclaimer. So this session is for general information purposes only, and it does not constitute any legal, financial, trading, or investment advice. It also does not make any recommendation or endorsement regarding any or all products mentioned in this session. You are advised to seek independent advice from a licensed financial planner or a financial advisor before taking any action based on the information presented here. So all the examples and views expressed are entirely my own, and Bursa Malaysia and myself, we do not accept any liability for the information provided during the presentation and in the presentation slides. Well, now the disclaimer is done. So let's move on to our session today proper. So many of you who are not in the investment foray but are keen on the same tend to have many questions on what is investment and how to go about it. So amongst the questions that you may wonder about are like things such as like, how much money does one need to start investing? Or where am I going to invest my money? Or if you want to buy stock, what type of stock does one buy? And what kind of income can one derive from such investments? Is it dividend? And if it's dividend, what is dividend? So this kind of questions can be mind-boggling. Now that one have more or less decided to start on the investment journey, so the next train of thought are like, where do I go and seek information to start trading in the market? Do I ask my friends? Or do I get the information via the internet, since internet has become the go-to site for many of our questions? But the question is, can we solely rely on the information that we get from the internet? Is it legit? Many a times, the fact that you are putting your savings or hard-earned money at risk is often enough to scare people away from investing. But let me tell you today, investing is not as difficult as it may seem. Okay, but before we go further, okay, I would like to also just briefly tell you the difference between savings and investing. Okay, here, I would like to share with you the difference between saving and investing. So what is saving? Saving simply means putting aside some of our money for use or purchase, for future use or for purchase. Okay, so we will have actually easy access to the cash with minimum or no risk at all. Now, on the other hand, investing, okay, is about buying into stocks, into bonds, into gold, real estate, any form of investment with the view of making money. So investing basically enables us to achieve long-term financial goal. All right, let us look at an example. All right, consider this. You set aside, say, 200 ringgit in your savings, okay, in your savings account for 10 years. So about 2% now, I think it's about fixed deposit rate, okay, and after 10 years, okay, at an annual interest rate of 2%, you will make 43.80 cents from the 200 capital that you have actually invested. Okay, so at the end of 10 years, you will have 243 ringgit and 80 cents. Okay, now taking into account Malaysia's expected inflation rate in 2021 to average about 2.1%. So what do you think is happening to your money? You are investing at 2%, but the inflation rate is actually higher than your returns, the returns that you're getting, the interest that you're getting. So we know that when inflation strikes, the cost of goods will go up and our purchasing power will drop. So therefore, when interest rate is lower, like in this case, 2%, then our inflation rate, which is 2.1% or maybe higher, so we are actually effectively losing purchasing power. So what does that mean? That simply means that at any time your savings don't grow at the same rate as inflation, you will effectively lose money. So now we know inflation tends to eat into our purchasing power over time. And fortunately, there are ways of preserving the purchasing power of your savings. So look at the second option. Should you have invested the same amount in an exchange-listed product such as a REIT or a real estate investment trust with a projected annual payout of 6%? Now, at the end of 10 years, you would have made 158 ringgit.17 cents and a total of 358 ringgit.17 at the end of 10 years. Okay, that is with your principal included. So what you're doing now is effectively investing in an asset class, which is a REIT that beats the inflation rate. So this is the difference between saving and investing and how investing can help us beat inflation. Okay. Why do we invest? We have to ask ourselves this question first. Why do we want to invest? What is our goal of investing? So basically, we invest for various reasons. So before you actually start on your investing journey, you have to sit down and think, what is your goal for these investments? Okay, some of us invest to increase our current income level. So you're perhaps interested, to get some passive income, for example. We want to grow our monthly income by investing. Okay, some of us maybe want to achieve certain financial goals. Perhaps, you're actually saving and investing to buy a house, to buy a car. You're saving and investing to retire early. All right. Now, when we are investing to beat inflation and earning the above the average rate of inflation, we are growing our money, and that will help us to achieve our financial goal. So investing will help us achieve our financial goals. It will also improve our standards of living and grow our nest egg so we can have a comfortable retirement. So before you start on your investment, think of the reason. Why are you investing? Why is investing important? Investing is an important consideration for various reasons that I've mentioned earlier in this session. So we know that inflation reduces the value of our money over the years, right? Hence, by investing, you are able to continue with your lifestyle in terms of being able to afford the same number of things in future similar to today. Now, investing also makes your money work for you through compounding. So what is compounding? Compounding simply means you are reinvesting your returns to earn additional returns. So it is interest on interest. So it is important for you to know that the earlier you start investing, the more benefit that you will derive from the compounding effect. Now, when we talk about investment, what is investment? What is the definition of investment? Okay, the man here is Benjamin Graham, and he's known as the father of value investing. And he is actually Warren Buffett's mentor. So what does he have to say about investment? What is his definition of investment? Benjamin Graham says that investment is one upon a thorough research promises both the safety of, number one, your principal, and number two, giving you an adequate return. And Benjamin Graham says that if any investments that do not meet these requirements, they are basically speculative in nature. So the way to start investing is via proper research and analysis and not based on hearsay or speculation. Please be informed that there is no one perfect portfolio for each and every one of us. So in order to understand investor, the next question perhaps, you want to start investing, then the next question that you may ask is, okay, what kind of portfolio can I actually come up with? What kind of portfolio should I have? Okay, you need to create your portfolio based on the following. Number one, okay, it is important for you to understand your own risk preference or your appetite. It is important for you to know your risk preference in order to determine the type of investment that is suitable for you. Number two, you need to know your investment time horizon. How long can your capital be used for the investment? And when will you need this cash that you have set aside for investment? So for short-term goals, you have short-term investments, medium-term goals, medium-term investments, and if it is a long-term goal, okay, you have a long runway, say, towards your retirement, therefore you can actually invest on longer-term investments. And also you need to know the amount of capital that you should set aside or can set aside for investment, something you can afford, okay, something that you have after you save, okay, you have actually shored up your emergency funds, you have paid off most of your high interest debts, okay, therefore you come and start investing. So you need to know how much of capital that you can set aside. All right, before you start on your investment journey, let us understand the role of the Stock Exchange of Malaysia, that is Bursa Malaysia. Now, Bursa Malaysia basically wears two hats. One, they are the market operator, okay, where it facilitates trading and provides infrastructure for fundraising. Now, Bursa is also the frontline regulator where rules are enforced upon the listed entities and market intermediaries to ensure a fair and orderly marketplace. Okay? And the other role that Bursa plays is the role of a listed entity, and it creates value for its shareholders. So Bursa Malaysia is listed on the main market, and hence it is important that the company, okay, that is Bursa Malaysia, is always well managed to ensure returns for their shareholders. So if you actually go to the main market and you look up Bursa Malaysia, you can actually be a shareholder of Bursa Malaysia. Now, why does one buy shares? So we buy shares to enjoy two types of income. Okay, so what are these two types of income? Yes, the first one is what we call our passive income, which is the dividends. So you get returns in the form of dividends if you keep your shares over a certain period of time. Okay, some investors prefer to buy dividend-paying companies and just keep them over a long period to enjoy this passive income. Of course, over time, there is capital appreciation also. Okay, and or alternatively, you can buy and sell shares to enjoy the capital gains. That is, what is capital gains? You buy low and sell the share at a higher price and capitalize on that gains. So, if say now you want to invest in Bursa Malaysia listed shares, so what do you need to do? The first thing you need to do is to open a trading and CDS account with a participating organization, or brokers. So who are these brokers? They are basically market intermediaries. Brokers are licensed by the Securities Commission of Malaysia and regulated by Bursa Malaysia. So always deal with licensed brokers. Okay, so what do these stockbrokers do? They facilitate the buying and selling of shares. All right, and then what else? You can also trade online by putting in the orders directly into the system. That means once you have actually opened your CDS account with a participating broker, a licensed broker, then you can actually choose to either trade online or offline. So if it's online, basically you're inputting the orders directly into the platform, okay? Or if you have the option of putting your orders through a remiser or dealer representative, that will be what we call the offline trading platform. So the question is today, why people still engage with offline or remisers? Some investors basically, they prefer to trade with remisers or dealer representatives for the relationship that they have, and also for the extra services that may come along with it. So for example, it's like you're calling your remiser, and you can both discuss about the stock that you have researched and you are also keen to purchase, okay? And at the same time, you like to seek some views from your remiser, okay? So that is one of the benefits, okay, of actually trading offline, that is to go through a remiser. Now, as I mentioned, brokers are monitored by the exchange and they are required to have adequate funding, and also the exchange will ensure that they have proper corporate governance. Okay, so always deal with licensed participating organizations or brokers. So the next question that may come on your mind is, where do I go? Okay, who are these licensed participating organizations or brokers? There you are. So these are the list of licensed retail brokers partners that service retail clients like you and me. Okay, actually in Malaysia, we have 30 brokers, but 23 of them are what we call retail brokers. That means servicing individuals rather than institutional. Okay, so foreign brokers, the 7 of them which are not listed here, they only service institutional clients. But if you plan to open a CDS account, okay, you can approach any of these 23 brokers. Now, you may wish to open a trading and CDS account with any of these 23 brokers, or you can even choose to open accounts with more than one broker. It is not limited to one broker. You can have one account, say, with CGS CIMB, another one with RHB, and another one with Kenanga. Okay, it's your wish. All right. You will only need to pay 10 ringgit. 10 ringgit for each CDS account opening. And sometimes this 10 ringgit is even waived, by certain brokers. Now, how do you decide on which broker to engage? Well, call them up, research about them. Find out about the type of services that they offer and the fees that they impose before you open the account with them. So the fees, the brokerage fees normally will vary between 0.035% to about 0.6%. Okay, so do your research before you make your decisions. Yeah. Now, at the bottom of the slide, you can actually see the link there. So you can actually visit bursamarketplace.com, okay, to view the list of brokers. Okay, so 23 brokers here. Now, let us now go into the principles, the basic principles of share trading. Very basic. Now, it is important to set a target selling price when you buy shares, if you're actually planning to go for the capital gains. Okay, unless you want to keep it, or just keep it in your account for long term to enjoy the passive income. Otherwise, always have a target selling price. Now, in this case, just a simple example. Now, you're an investor here, and you are keen on a company called ABC. Okay, so you buy 1,000 shares of ABC at 90 cents. Okay, so now you become a shareholder of ABC. Okay, you own the share of company ABC, therefore you become the shareholder of ABC. So what kind of costs have you incurred? Just an overview. Okay, you can see here, you have the transaction cost, which is like your brokerage fee. The brokerage will actually depends on the rate charged by your broker. The clearing fee and stamp fee is fixed. Okay, so these are the 3 transaction costs. Okay, so you pay 913 ringgit, 0.27 ringgit. 0.27 cents for your transactional costs. Now, if the company makes profit, they will pay out dividend directly to you because you are a shareholder. Now, say the situation comes to a point where, the price of the company share has gone up to 1 ringgit and 90 cents. Oh, you have hit. Remember I told you about your target selling price? So say it's gone up to 1 ringgit and 90 cents. So the question is, will you sell your shares now? Well, if you have achieved your target selling price, yes, you should go ahead and just execute the trade. Okay, that means you actually sell your share. Now we have an investor A, okay, in the platform, okay, who is actually keen to buy the shares for 1 ringgit and 90 cents. Okay, so you have someone who wants to buy and someone who has to sell. So therefore, there is a sale. So from here, all right, you will make a gross profit of 1,885.43. Okay, after expensing out all of your transaction costs. So there will be a transaction cost incurred when you buy as well as when you sell. So what is the net profit? Earlier you paid 913 ringgit 0.27 cents. Okay, and now you are actually, getting back 1,885.43. So in effect, you're getting a net profit of 972 ringgit 0.16 plus the dividend that you've actually collected from earlier. Okay, nice. Okay, let me just brief you on some of the terminologies related to shares. Okay, number one is bought lots. So in Bursa, on Bursa Malaysia, one bought lot equals to 100 shares. So this makes it affordable to buy shares given the small bought lot size, which means that even if you do not have a large amount to set aside for investment, you can still buy a small amount, that is to buy 100 shares. So how much is 100 shares? Okay, let me give an example. Let's say you decide to purchase one lot of Bursa Malaysia shares. And the share price, I think, on Friday was 7 ringgit and 65 cents. So simply, you need to fork out 765 ringgit for this transaction. So you get one lot of Bursa shares and you become a shareholder of Bursa Malaysia. Okay? The second one, dividend. Dividend is basically money paid out to shareholders when the company makes profit. When they make profit, they declare dividends. Yeah? The third one is contract notes. So contract notes are transaction statement that the brokering house will send out each and every time there is a buy or sell of shares. So in this transaction statement, it will give you the details of your cost of purchase when you're buying or the proceeds of your sale if you are selling. Now, commission charges, okay, whatever transaction cost, everything is actually shown on this contract note, okay? And the transaction cost that you pay each time you buy and sell shares, okay, will be clearly spelled out in this contract note. All right. Now, and the last one is CDS, Central Depository System Statement. Okay, all CDS accounts are maintained by Bursa Malaysia. So if you have, because you have already opened your CDS account, remember earlier on for RM 10 ringgit per account. So this CDS statement will actually show you the number and the types of your share that you own in your account. All right. Again, the transaction costs, for you to be well aware of what the transaction costs are for share trading. All right. The stamp duty is 0.1%. And the minimum amount you pay is RM 1 ringgit. Maximum is 200 ringgit. Clearing fee is 0.03%. And the maximum you pay is 1,000 ringgit. Now, brokerage fee can range anywhere between 0.035 to 0.6%. And as I told you, brokerage fee will differ across the brokerage companies. All right, but the industry standard is actually about the median, 0.42%, which is about 12 ringgit. Yeah. So as I mentioned, if you do not have a trading or CDS account, scout around from the 23 listed participating dealers or brokers, okay, who is able to offer you a reasonable brokerage and good service. Okay, Bursa Malaysia markets. Bursa Malaysia basically holds 3 markets, okay, and most of the listed entities are hosted on the main market. So we can see there are 762 stocks which are listed on the main market, and on the main market is basically reserved for large, well-established companies with a profit track record. Besides the main market, we have something also called the ACE market. ACE market comes with 140 stocks listed on it, and companies with strong growth plan and profit track record, they are all listed here. Okay, and last but not least, we have the LEAP market, or what we call the Leading Entrepreneur Accelerated Platform Market. So what is this platform for? Okay, 38 companies listed here. This platform is actually to facilitate the growing companies because they don't have any track records. Okay, so only high net worth or sophisticated investors are allowed to buy shares listed on the LEAP market. So if you're interested to invest in the LEAP market, please speak to your broker. Okay, so you will be required to sign a form, okay, whereby they say that a sophisticated investor, by definition of the Capital Markets and Services Act 2007, is someone whose total net personal asset or total net joint asset with the spouse, okay, exceed 3 million or is equivalent in foreign currencies, excluding the value of your primary residence. Okay, so if you're interested to invest in any of the market, especially if in the LEAP market, okay, speak to your broker. All right, now, how to pick a great company? So how to pick a great stock? Number one, consistent profit growth. Consistent profit growth is one of the key elements, all right? And it's also important to pick a company with little debt or low gearing ratio. Why? Because if a company has high gearing ratio, it potentially means that they may not be able to give good dividends. Why? Because they need to pay the debtors off first before they can pay you as a shareholder, which may be little, okay, or none at all in the end. Okay, strong cash flow is another important element too, as the company can manage its expenses without having to rely on loans. Increasing dividend is something that investors look for also if you want to invest in a company who provides you more dividends over the years. And not last but not least is their board of directors and management team. Okay, so that they are able to guide the company to perform well based on their strategic decisions and the execution of their strategies. Okay, so with that, we come towards the end of the first presentation, and I would like to make some references to some important websites offered by Bursa Malaysia. Okay, so we know Bursa, the first one, I would like to draw your attention to Bursa Academy. Now, what is Bursa Academy? Very interesting, very informative, and very user-friendly platform. Okay, Bursa Academy is a comprehensive e-learning portal that was launched just last year, the 3rd of June 2020, to provide investors and individuals with a continuous and holistic learning journey. Okay, so if you actually go into Bursa Malaysia, you can scan the QR code there, okay, or just go and Google Bursa Academy. This portal is very simple, user-friendly, and most importantly, you can just access it anywhere, anytime at your own place. Okay, at your own pace. So please visit Bursa Academy to view the contents that we have provided, okay, for all levels of life and all forms of individual, be it whether you're a beginner investor, whether you're intermediate or even advanced investor. Bursa Academy has something for you there. Okay, so the URL, okay, is bursaacademy.bursamarketplace.com. Okay. Now, Bursa Academy also allows investors to dive into a pool of curated learning contents in various forms. Okay, so if you actually go into Bursa Academy, these are some of the things that you can see. Okay, so you can have your quizzes, you can have your, those people who enjoy, infographics. Okay, they have infographics there for you. Okay, there are also articles and also webinars, all right, for you to attend. Okay. Bursa Academy also has some gamification built into it to discover the investor in you. So do visit Bursa Academy website and try this gamification and also access the various rich contents that have been specially made for you, all at a price which is free. Okay, this is made for the public, for public education. So please go ahead and enjoy yourselves in this website. Okay, nice. So that ends the first part, which is the basics of investing. Now, so the bonus section today is on financial fraud. Okay, basically how to not get scammed and to start to be alert, okay, for all these types of fraud. So this is what we can see, okay, all these news clippings, every day, almost every week, when we actually browse through our e-newspaper, whatever we have, okay, we see headlines of these scam victims. So if you actually look at this scam news clipping here, what is the key takeaway that we have about this slide? Now, the most important key takeaway is scammers, they actually do not choose their victims. Okay, you can be anyone, they can scam anyone, all right, regardless of who you are, regardless of your age, regardless of your gender, your occupation, even your educational background. Okay, recently, I think we read news also of some, high-level financial executives who were also scammed, is it? So that proves to you that scammers actually don't choose their victims. Anyone can become a victim. So in as long as you can establish contact, or in as long as the scammers can establish contact with you, then you potentially may be scammed. Right. There are many different types of scams out there, and anyone can be a scam victim if we are not alert. Okay, and we are also seeing huge amounts of money that are lost to scammers. All right. Now, scams are not only happening in Malaysia, but it is also a global phenomenon. Okay, based on a global study by scamadvisor.com, you can see, all right, 36 billion euros have been lost due to scams. 140 million scams reported worldwide. And scams affect 3% of the global population. Staggering numbers. And evidently, this is not a local issue. This is a global issue. All right. Now, nearly all countries also have reported a high growth in online scam. Poland, for example, 73%. India, 50%. New Zealand, 41%. US, 33%. And Belgium reported 27% of growth in online scam. Very scary. And online scams also constitute a 33% of the overall scam in the United Kingdom. In Singapore, of the amount of scams they have, online scams constitute 27% and 14% in Russia. All right. So they illustrate the prevalence of scam nowadays. All right. If you look at this part of it here, okay, the net income generated by scams, $40 billion in 2019, okay, surpasses the net income generated by technology giants such as Microsoft, Alphabet, Samsung, etc. Except for Apple. Scammers still haven't beat Apple, but just take it with a pinch of salt. I'm just trying to explain to you the prevalence, how serious, okay, this scam issue is at this moment, especially during these COVID times. Yeah? What about scams in Malaysia? Now, according to the chairman of Securities Commission, and also PDRM's Commercial Crime Department, they reported that Malaysians have lost a total of 769 million ringgit to scammers over the last 3 years. And that online scams was one of the most rampant amongst the scams committed. So for the first 6 months of this year alone, Malaysians actually have lost a total of 914 million to scam. That was January to June 2020. So if you have an opportunity, you can actually attend this InvestSmart Festival. Okay, this was actually spoken during the InvestSmart Festival. Okay, it's an annual campaign by Securities Commission to create more informed investors. And Bursa Malaysia has also been a regular event partner. Okay, we encourage you to check out this event. Yeah. Now, what is financial fraud? So we talk about scams, we talk about frauds. Okay, what is it basically? So the key point is, okay, many fraud cases involve complicated financial transactions that have been engineered by white-collar criminals with knowledge on finance and business. So it is actually very important to be extremely careful. All right. And many of us here today also would have received a call sometime or another, okay, on your telephone number, an unknown number, someone that you don't know, okay, and, on regular basis. So just a fair warning to you. Statistics show that it is most likely that it's actually coming from a scammer. Okay, many of them are also automated phone calls or robocalls regarding outstanding traffic summons. They tell you that you have uncollected parcel delivery, okay, or you have a legal case, ongoing legal case that you need to attend to, but all this you're not aware of it, okay, and somehow we get scammed because of the fear that we have. So scams are becoming very complicated and scammers are becoming very sophisticated and automated nowadays. Okay, so be wary of it. Yeah. Now, this slide shows us the various types of scams that exists. Okay, since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of scams have intensified and scammers have become very creative. And also because with this pandemic, we are spending more time online, be it studying or working from home or shopping online, for example. Okay, there is always a higher chance to encounter or to engage with a scammer. Okay, this is not an exhaustive list of the various types of scams, but these are some examples that you need to be aware of. The first one is identity theft. Okay, someone stealing your identity. Most of the time, it's the password that you use. All right, they are able to actually find out what your password is. All right, so make sure you check the strength of your password, okay, before you actually use them. Number two is credit card fraud. Someone steals your credit card information, uses your credit card, very straightforward. Okay, debt collection fraud. Someone calls you and threatens you to settle the loan. All right. And also, sometimes they call you and ask you for your one-time password or OTP. Never reveal your OTP, yeah? And the fourth one is loan scams. Someone offers you a loan, whether over the phone or face-to-face, but they insist that you pay an upfront payment to process the loan. Please be careful of that. All right? Investment scams. Okay, investment scams is something that we will cover in great detail after this. Okay, but just an overview. It's basically involving huge sums of money and also super normal profits in a very short time. All right. Then you have your job scams. Okay, Microsoft scams also. Social media scams, whereby scammers actually use logos, even Bursa Malaysia. Bursa Malaysia is often a target. Okay, these scammers, they use the Bursa Malaysia logo, okay, to sell their investment products. So at any point that you come across this, you need to report it. Yeah. Okay. And finally, because of our current situation, we have our COVID-19 related scams. Okay, so given the high demand earlier for face masks, for gloves, okay, people are duped into buying this fake face masks, or even, going into deals that don't even exist. And now with the vaccination, please be careful with people who are marketing vaccines and also vaccine passports. So if you're registering to get your vaccine, always go through the correct channel, which is either your MySejahtera app or through the KKM or MOH approved channels. Yeah. Okay. Now let's talk about investment scams. Okay. What are the three major types of investment scams? Number one, it can be a totally fictitious investment which doesn't exist. Okay, somebody selling you something which totally doesn't exist but persuades you to part with your money. Number two, it can be an investment that exists, but the scammers, after convincing you to invest money in that particular investment product, they run away with your money. Okay, and number three, scammers who pretend that they are representing a legitimate organization. Okay, be it Bursa Malaysia, be it any other of the licensed, investment organization. Okay, always check your source very carefully. So what are the common warning signs, that will tell you that it may be an investment scam? Okay, number one, when the company suddenly reach out to you out of the blue. Suddenly Bursa Malaysia, for example, call you up, and say, encourage you to invest. Okay, then you really need to be careful. Or when they pressure you to make a decision very fast. Okay, or they keep calling you and emailing you frequently, asking you to invest. Of course, another one is when the returns is too good to be true. That means whatever they tell you about the investment product, okay, when it's too good to be true, then definitely you must be sure that it's too good to be true. Okay, don't be so gullible or naive. Yeah. Sometimes also certain investment scams, they come and tell you you have to keep quiet. Don't tell anyone about this investment scheme. Okay, it's exclusive to you. Well, if you get someone who tells you that, please be wary. Okay, it is a warning sign. And of course, you need to check whether it is a registered entity or not. So you can check on the Securities Commission website, you can check on Bank and Nagara's website, okay, for all these registered entities, yeah? All right. Besides that, most of the other common investment scams, okay, not an exhaustive list, okay, but some of the common ones that we have are like your Ponzi and pyramid schemes. Okay, recently we heard also of Ponzi schemes, a very big one in Singapore. All right, unregulated products, even trying to sell you overseas holiday properties, land banking, popular at one time, forex trading, very popular now, cryptocurrency scams, yes, be careful, a very popular investment product, especially for the younger generation, and profits also from the rising prices in the speculation of the prices of precious commodities. Okay, so these are amongst some of the investment scams that you need to be wary about. Okay, so what are the other common catchphrases that you need to know scammers can use? Giving you half the commission if you sign up, for example. You know, telling you there's limited slots, okay, or you have a bonus if you sign up now, okay, or giving you testimony saying that, you know, other savvy or experienced investors have already invested in this. So it is a good opportunity. Why don't you just, you know, invest in this? Please be wary. Okay, please do due diligence before you invest in anything. All right, do your homework. Yeah. All right. So generally speaking, all investment scams are essentially get-rich-quick schemes where they offer unrealistic returns with high levels of risk. They will tell you about the returns, but most of the time, the risk part is well covered. Okay. It is the desire of many of us, yes, I know, okay, to grow our wealth as soon as possible, as fast as we can. And because of this financial behavior that we have, you know, the want or the need to be able to grow our wealth as quick as it can, or to reach our financial goals as fast as we can. So because of this financial behavior, many scammers will target us, okay? So please be wary, especially for this get-rich-quick schemes. Okay. Now let's look at some of the creative investment schemes that have been popular. The first one is the cryptocurrency scam. Now in Malaysia, there are only 5 official cryptocurrency that can be traded. All right. That is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Litecoin, and most recently, they actually added the Bitcoin Cash. And there are only 3 registered digital asset exchanges. All right. We can go to the Securities Commission website and you can actually check on the list of registered digital asset exchanges. So the one that we commonly know is Luno. The second one is Synergy, and the third is Tokenize. All right. Any others? I would suggest that you go to the Securities Commission website and you check to see whether, you know, the cryptocurrency trader that you're trading with, whether they are legitimate or otherwise. Okay. Pyramid schemes also is one of the quite popular investment scam. Now, pyramid schemes are basically without any underlying products or services. So how do they operate? Okay, it just focuses on recruitment. For every member that you recruit, you will be paid a commission. But because for every member that you recruit, you have to pay an entrance fee, for example. And part of it will become, you know, it goes to pay to the commission of your introducer. So if every one member recruits 6 others, you can replicate the same process. Looking at this pyramid, okay, you can replicate the process with your downliners 12 times before you run out of people in this planet, because we have about 7.9 billion people now. So it will be replicated 12 times. In Malaysia, our population size is about 32 million. So you can only do it 9 times. So many people ask, what happens, you know, when they cannot replicate themselves anymore? Therefore, that's where your pyramid schemes will collapse. All right. So pyramid schemes are unsustainable. Okay, and keep a watch out for it. Yeah? Now, Macau Scams is also a very popular scam. Okay, scammers may call you directly on the phone and pretend to be a police officer, okay, or even a bank officer or credit card officer, even post laju worker, income tax department, or bank negara themselves. Okay, they are bold. They can call up and claim to be any high authority people. And sometimes they might even spoof the caller ID. So when you look at your phone and they call you, you have a caller ID, right? They can spoof it to show you Bank Negara Malaysia or Post Laju or any of the courier companies. And after that, they claim that they know your name, your identification card, and they say that your bank account, say, is actually associated with some drug-related activities or money laundering activities. Okay, that's where we panic. Okay, when we hear such claims from them, okay, the victim will panic. And when they panic, typical of Malaysian, we will ask, how can we settle this? That's where the scam comes in. So that's where they start to ask you to transfer some money into some bank account, or they ask you to temporarily transfer your money from your account into a safe account, while they investigate the case. So after you have transferred the money to a specified bank account, which is normally a personal bank account, what happens? The scammer withdraws the money, and that will be the last that you ever see of it. Okay, so what do we do when we encounter such a call? All right, number one, don't panic or react hastily. Always remain calm. And if you are sure that it is a scammer, you hang up the call immediately. Okay, and after that, if you just want to make sure that there's actually no impending cases or no lawsuits or court cases waiting for you, check with the relevant department. Okay, if it's a police officer, call up PBRM, say you received a call from so and so. This is your details. Okay, verify the claims that is made by the caller. All right, and the next type of scam that I would just like to highlight to you today is love scams. I think in the recent month, we have seen a few reports about love scams. And this is basically because of our current situation. People are just basically lonely, all right, and spending more time online. So when people are spending more time online, there's a higher chance of encountering and engaging with love scammers, all right? So what do these love scammers do? Okay, they're not your normal mom and pop kind of people. Okay, they are sophisticated individuals. They will study your profile and your digital footprint. They will look at your Facebook, your Insta, TikTok, LinkedIn, everything. Okay, they will study you. They will study your digital footprint. And then they will come up or adopt an online persona to fit your personality. And they will gain your trust from the kind of conversations that they have for you. So what kind of professions do they normally claim that they are working in? They say that, I'm working in an oil rig, or I'm in the military, or I'm in fact a doctor with an international organization. And what are the signs? What are the warning signs? They profess their love very quickly to you. They claim that they are overseas for business. They are stuck, they can't come back because of the COVID, for example. All right, they plan to visit you, but because they can't because of the COVID situation, right? And sometimes they start faking illness. After they gain your trust, then one day, all right, they will call you and they start faking some illness, or, they start faking some problems where they need your help. So what kind of help do they want? Sometimes to pay for, a certain debt that they have to clear, or to pay for the hospital fees, all right, or to pay gambling debts. We never know, right? Because we are so enchanted with that. Okay, we actually believe what they say. And then they will ask you to wire money to them, or send money to them via online. There are many methods and easy ways to send money online now. Yeah. Okay. Now, what do you do? What can you do if you think you are a victim of a love scam? Number one, stop communicating with the person immediately. Talk to someone you trust. Okay. Do a Google search to see if the other people also, if there are other people who have had similar stories. All right. If you have a profile photo of the person, do a reverse image search of the person that you have been communicating with. Always remember, don't transfer money to people whom you just met or that you meet online. Most importantly, also do not accede to their requests. Any request for that method that may put you in a vulnerable position. Okay, it can be sending of photos, videos, whatever. Okay, please be careful with this. And inform the police if anyone is trying to extort money from you. All right. So how do we do a background check? Number one, if you want to report a scam number, okay, you go to the MCMC website. Okay, you can take a screenshot of this. If it's a consumer complaint, all right, you can actually approach the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs directly, or alternatively, okay, you can escalate your complaints to the NCCC, all right. To raise any banking related scams, okay, go to Bank Negara Malaysia, the telelink. The contact numbers are there. You can also report to Bursa Malaysia via Bursa to you if you have encountered any scams in our marketplace. Either like what I told you from the beginning, the misuse of the Bursa Malaysia logo in fake investment opportunities, or whether if you're unsure whether your investment product is legitimate or not, go to Bursa to you. Okay. Now, all right. These are the 4 basic behaviors, okay, that scammers target. Number one is fear. Okay, because they know we are scared, we have fear, okay, and therefore they capitalize on this behavior. Okay, when we panic, we make hasty decisions. Okay, don't panic. Always remember this. Number 2 is because of ignorance. How do we become a scam victim? Because we are ignorant. Okay. Investment products sometimes can be very complex, so always research to find out more before you invest. Seek as much clarification as possible. All right. Number 3 is because of gullibility. Always be alert when you're approached by a friendly stranger or someone who wants something from you. And number 4 is because of our innate nature, the greed in us. Okay, it takes a lot of hard work and also smart investing to grow your wealth. So simply put, there are no shortcuts in life. Okay? And also just a tip before I end today. So given the frequency of spam callers, as I told you, do not engage with them. And how do we disengage with the scammers? I would encourage you to install Truecaller, okay, from either your Play Store or Apple Play Store, Google Store or Apple Play Store. All right, to differentiate between the spoof and non-spoof calls. Okay? And so with that, I actually end the session on financial scams. Okay, just a little bit about my company, which is Corplus Advisory. You can like and follow our Facebook page, okay, Corplus Advisory, and also follow our Instagram page, okay, to get the latest news and updates on personal finance and also on the kind of financial literacy programs that we run. Yeah, okay. And you can also personally reach out to me to find out more about your financial health and also how to kickstart your financial planning journey. So I'm a licensed financial planner, okay? And you have there my email address, my LinkedIn, okay? And also my website that you can actually visit, okay? So with that, okay, we end today's session on Sens-Ability, savings to investing. All right, so I will actually now address any of the questions that would have been brought in. Okay. All right, so I have 3 questions that has been actually posted here. Okay, the first question actually says that where do these people actually get our names and numbers? Okay, is there a breach of PDPA in any of the institution? Okay, actually all this PDPA was actually put in place to avoid people getting our names and numbers. Okay, that is actually something that the government came up and put in place so that our numbers and names don't be compromised. But there are other ways how people can get our names and numbers. Okay, let me tell you a very simple example. Do you do online shopping? Now, if you do online shopping, okay, what happens is that what they actually do is that they will actually print this shopping label and they will actually stick it either to the box or to the package that they send to you, isn't it? So the courier company will actually bring it to your house, okay, and you're very happy, you get your goods, okay, you receive it. Okay, what do we normally do? We open the box, we bring out the goods, okay, and we discard the box, we send it for recycling. But do you know that you're actually missing out on a very important thing? Do you realize that your name, your address, your phone number, everything is on the shipping label? Okay, so this is one tip that I can share with you. If you actually do online shopping, make sure, all right, you actually really take away or cut off, all the shipping labels, or even the return labels. Certain platforms, they even print the return labels to you. Make sure all those are destroyed before you actually send your boxes or whatsoever for recycling. All right. So, okay, the second question that I say, they can see here, is StashAway a legit investing app? Okay, StashAway is actually a registered digital platform for a digital trading platform. Okay, they're actually robo-advisors. Okay, but they are actually, what they do is that they are actually intermediaries. What you do, you give them the money and then they will actually invest the money for you. Okay, so they are actually digital investment platform, and whether they are legit or not, okay, you have to check, yeah, okay, whether this StashAway app, where you actually download it from. Download it from a legit store, okay, not any link that you get. Make sure that it's a legit app in the first place. And if it is, then it's a legitimate investing application because they are approved by Securities Commission. Okay, do a quick search, okay, on the Securities Commission website, okay, and then you will be able to see the list of legitimate investment organizations. All right. What about your thoughts about cryptocurrency versus stocks and mutual funds? Okay, which one is better? Now, I wouldn't say there is no which one is better. It actually depends on your risk profile. It actually depends on your time horizon, and it depends on the kind of amount of capital that you have. Now, cryptocurrency is a class of asset that I would classify as alternative investment. Okay, and I would say that they are in the same group with things such as, you know, your gold, you know, your silver. We call it alternative investments. So there are 5 classes of assets that you need to know. Okay, your cash, your bonds, your equities, okay, and then you have your shares or stocks and your alternative investments. Okay, mutual funds is a wrap. A wrap meaning that it actually encompasses, it is not an asset class, but it encompasses all the different types of diversification of product and diversification of fund manager. Okay, which one do you think is better? It depends on your profile. Cryptocurrency, I normally would advise my clients that they do not allocate anything more than 10% of their total portfolio to cryptocurrency. So you have your 5 asset classes, right? And therefore, you will have your individual allocation for each asset class. You need to have some cash for your emergency funds, okay? Some bonds, okay? And also your equity, okay? You need to also have some REITs or your properties and so on. Okay, so it's very much individual. I would advise that you actually speak to a licensed financial planner, okay, who can actually advise you better further. All right. Okay. How much maybe this is the last question that I will actually do. Okay. What does your company do? Okay. Financial planning. Can you elaborate a little further on that? Okay. Actually, we are a licensed financial planner. Okay, and we are actually licensed by the Securities Commission of Malaysia to perform the what we call the task of licensed financial planning. We offer comprehensive financial planning services to our clients. We do not sell products. Okay, the first thing that we don't do is we don't sell products. Okay, we can advise you on cash flow management. We can advise you on wealth management. Okay, we advise you on your risk management. We can also advise you on your tax, on your estate planning comprehensively. We understand your overall financial situation, get a big picture, okay, of your current financial situation, and give you advice on how you're going to manage all these different parts. Licensed financial planning is it's actually up and coming in Malaysia now. Okay, so if you want, you can actually go to smartfinance.com and you can actually see a list of all the licensed financial planners in Malaysia. All right, so I think that's all the time we have. I've actually received an indication. Okay, I have a few more questions. Now, if you actually have more questions for me, you can actually contact me directly from the details that I've given earlier, and I'll be more than happy, okay, to answer your questions. All right, so with that, thank you very much, everyone, for spending your afternoon with me. Thank you for taking the time for listening in, okay? And hope you have a happy investing journey, okay? Thank you very much.